Hey folks, this is Matt once again coming at you with another random video. I'm actually going to do this the same day I watched Bloodsport Time Cop. And I want to do this video, probably might be a quick video, who knows. Sort of inspired, uh, well, by a guy named Darren who if you know recently, if you've been following my channel recently, I reviewed a film called Ginger Snaps. Now, while a lot of people happen to be fans of that film, I particularly was not a big fan of the film, and I explained why. I know a lot of people disagree with me, including Darren, but they were nice about it. A lot of you guys were nice about it, so thank you for that. But also, at the same time, my good friend, one of my best friends, Mike, OCPcommunications, he's doing sort of a werewolf marathon, reviewing a lot of werewolf films. And it made me think, what werewolf films do I enjoy? So I did a top 5 favorite. I can't find 10 movies unless they cheated. What I mean by cheating is if I included Waxwork and the Monster Squad, because you don't really consider those as werewolf films, but they're good films with werewolves in them. Like, I love Waxwork. I reviewed Waxwork 1 and 2. I think I reviewed the Monster Squad as well. I reviewed Waxwork and the Monster Squad. They're on my channel. And Waxwork too. But, you know, Waxwork has a good segment with a werewolf, but you don't really consider it a werewolf film. Same with the Monster Squad, has a great werewolf in it, but you don't, again, really think of it as a werewolf movie. So I thought if I put that on, it'd be cheating. But if I did put those in, those would be in my top 5, Waxwork and the Monster Squad, because, you know, it's Waxwork and the Monster Squad. So, but I figured it'd be cheating because they're not really, again, they're not werewolf films. And once again, I reviewed them. They're on my channel if you're interested. Just go to my channel on the magnifying glass, click on it, and type in Waxwork or type in Monster Squad. Should find them pretty easily. Or just up there, just type in Monster Squad or Waxwork, and then my username, RambleRat for Life. Should find it easily. So that's not in the top 5 because I thought that'd be cheating. But I do love Waxwork Monster Squad. So actual werewolf films, because there's a lot of werewolf films I don't like. For example, I haven't seen a lot of the Howling sequels, like I've said before. In fact, I'll mention this. This is the only Howling film not Halloween, Howling film I have. I had the first one, I got rid of it, because I saw it once a long time ago. I wasn't a big fan of the Howling, but I wanted to give it another look, and I know Scream Factory has a Blu-ray out, a new Blu-ray. I would like to get that one day, but, you know, it's one day down the road, and again, Howling is not really one of those films I would like to get the Blu-ray one day down the road, but, you know, it's going to have to wait. I mean, this is the only one I have, and it's just going to have to wait. I mean, I think I want, like, Night of the Comet Blu-ray when that comes out, and the horror show before Howling. But, you know, it's on my Amazon wish list, so I don't forget. Because I think it's the Howling. Yeah, I think Scream Factory did that, the Blu-ray. But yeah, this is the only one I have. I know this is a horror comedy that was made in Australia. I love the cover. I think this is one of the coolest covers. The film, this actually has a fucking commentary track. Yes, a commentary track. It's meant to be. It's a horror comedy, not meant to be taken seriously, but it's just, yeah, it's definitely out there. But I don't even have Howling 2 with Red Brown. If you don't know who Red Brown is, look him up. Wolfen sucks my dick. I hate fucking Wolfen. That fucking sucks. It's fucking slow, and the lead guy, I swear he's asleep at the wheel. Wolf with Jack Nicholson, I thought was just very boring film. I thought Jack Nicholson, it just really forgettable movie. I thought just Wolf did not impress me much. I found it lackluster. I know there's other werewolf films. I saw one called Dark Wolf that sucked. Fuck. I know there's a bunch of werewolf films. Ginger Snaps, you already know my thoughts. I did a review for it. More like a rant, because it just, I feel it's overrated. That's just my personal opinion. I thought it sucked. That was boring. I didn't care for the two goth chicks, emo chicks, however you want to call them. But I won't do top 6 because a lot of people do top 5, but I always, this is Spinal Tap. They just pump it up to 11, so I always just do it one notch more. So why not top 6? Well, my favorite 6, 6. But I'm sure people will ask about a bunch of other werewolf films, but I can't remember. Can't think of that many werewolf films. But yeah, Waxwork and Monster Squad, if you consider those werewolf films, they'd be in the top 5, but I think that'd be cheating. So, number 6 would be An American Wolf in London. I know there's a guy on here, Chris Roca 8, who wants to know my thoughts on the film. He probably wants a thorough review, and I don't know if this is going to be anytime soon. Really enough, I did review An American Wolf in Paris, and that review's up. And I know people are like, number 6? What are you talking about? I like the film. I just don't love the film. But I don't hate the film. I do like the film. I didn't say I have to see The Howling again. When I get that one day, I'll give it a watch again. I remember Rob Poutines' effects in The Howling being good, but I gotta give it another shot. But this one, Rick Baker's effects is great, but I like David Naughton. I love the weird nightmare sequence with the Nazi demons. I thought that was really inventive. The idea that his friend is dead and keeps fucking with him, thought it was a really interesting idea. I like little lines of dialogue like, the naked American stole my balloon. But I was something about this film never made me love it. I do like the film, but something about the film never made me love it. I'm sure one day down the road, not anytime soon, I'll I'll watch it and do a thorough review. But this Blu-ray does have, it's the full moon edition. It does have that really long documentary, very in-depth documentary on the film. But that's An American Wolf in London. I do like the film. This don't piss people off, but I thought, this is actually a werewolf film. It's a kids film, but it's a werewolf film, so it's gonna piss people off. But I grew up with this film, so it's gonna piss people off. But yeah, it's a werewolf film. I didn't say it had to be a scary werewolf film. It's just a werewolf film, man. It is a werewolf film. Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Yeah, this is the one that Shaggy gets turned into a werewolf, and we get into this, this car, this this race where you have like the mummy and the Frankenstein monster, and Dracula's being a dickhead, and it's like you gotta win the race, and Shaggy actually has a woman in this, and yeah, you have Scrappy-Doo in it as well, and all these different cars like the mummy and the Wolfman, just a bunch of other people. I have fun with this. I grew up with this film. Grew up with it ever since I saw it as a kid. I think it was made in the 70s. I forget what exact year was. That's weird. It says here 1988. Was it 1988? I don't know exactly what year this was made. But I know you had Don Messick as Scooby-Doo. That's the original voice of Scooby-Doo. Casey Kasem as Shaggy. I just have fun with this. But I grew up with this one, so I know it's but I love the film. I am actually a fan of the old school Scooby-Doo. I have the old episodes of Scooby-Doo on DVD, and I love like Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers and this one. These are the films I grew up with. So hey, it's a werewolf film, so I know it's cheating, but I'm a cheating ass. But I had fun with this film. That's one I saw when I was a kid. But that's number 5. Number 4 is Full Eclipse. This is with Mario Van Peebles. I think I did a review for this film, and it's still up on my channel. And now that I said that, why don't I just make sure? Let me make sure. Fuck. Should just do that. I got a computer right here. If I can spell right. Yeah, I did a review. I said Full Eclipse movie review, 1993, Mario Van Peebles, and Werewolf Cops. Shit, wow. Whoops, excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, I did review Full Eclipse. Got so excited at birds. But Full Eclipse, again, my review's still up on the channel, so if you want to watch it, just type in Full Eclipse, Rambo Ride for Life, or go to my channel, type Rambo Ride for Life. I mean, type Full Eclipse. I think this is a film made for HBO. It's actually directed by Anthony Hitchcock, speaking of Waxwork. Same guy who did Waxwork did this film. I thought it was a good film. Pretty much a cop who finds this group of cops that's in this special division, and you find out that sort of like a vigilante group, former cops, and they're actually werewolves. And the guy who heads it is Bruce Payne. You actually have Patsy Kensit from Lethal Weapon 2. Looking very nice right there. And for a film that was for HBO, and I don't know if this ever got a theatrical release. I think it was, yeah, HBO Pictures. I think just made for cable, I believe. It's still rated R. Well, it's HBO, of course. This is well done. I thought it was a well done film. I thought Anthony Hitchcock did a good job directing. I like him as a director. Yeah, I mean, I already reviewed this, so you can get more in depth if you watch that review. But Full Eclipse, I like. So that's number 4. Number 3 would have to be Bad Moon. Fuck Wolfen. Fuck Wolfen. Who knows? Maybe one day down the road I'll do like a werewolf thing, like my friend Mike OCP is doing, but not anytime soon. I don't want to steal his thunder. Plus, I just want to do random stuff right now until October. But Wolfen was boring as shit. Albert Finney, I swear, he took like a fucking Prozac or whatever the hell you call it. Just he was on something that made him sleepwalk. But Bad Moon, on the other hand, I enjoy. I mean, it's Eric Red who wrote and directed it. Eric Red wrote the original The Hitcher, Near Dark. He directed Body Paws. Body Paws. He directed Body Paws. Body Parts with Jeff Fahey, which I reviewed those films. I reviewed The Hitcher. I'm not sure if I reviewed Near Dark, but I know I reviewed Body Parts with Jay Fahey. I think that's another underrated film. Those reviews are still on the channel, if anyone's interested. I think I reviewed this film as well, Bad Moon. That's on the channel. Again, just go to my channel, type in the title of the movie, or type in the title of the movie and my username, Rambo Rat for Life. I keep mentioning that because a lot of times I get questions from movies I've already reviewed. So that's the only reason I keep mentioning it. So I know it might be annoying to people, but I keep mentioning it because sometimes people are like, hey, Friday the 13th films. I'm like, I already reviewed Friday the 13th. Rob Zombie's Halloween. I already reviewed Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's actually on the horror film playlist franchise thing I put up. But Bad Moon, I did review this film. I liked it. It's about 80 minutes long. It has Michael Pare, Mariel Hemingway. I thought they did a good job. I like the fact that it's Mariel Hemingway's dog, who's called Thor. It's sort of that dog versus a werewolf. I thought it was an interesting dynamic. It had some good practical gore. I thought the werewolf at times looks a little herky-jerky in its like movements. A little too mechanical in its movements. But the look-wise is really good. I thought it was a really good-looking werewolf. And ending's badass. You know, Mary Hemingway, get the fuck off my son, shoots it. Thor, the dog, is a total badass. Short film, not that long at all. Eric Red did a good job. I know from that film to the film he did with Famke Johnson, 100 Feet, I know in between there was a horrible thing where there was an accident and some people died. And it might have been Eric Red's fault, like a car accident. He fucked up somehow. It wasn't on purpose, but it was an accident. And I think at one point Eric Red tried to kill himself because of the accident. I mean, all around it was horrible for... That's always horrible, especially the victims. And, you know, Eric Red, he didn't mean to do it. It's just one of those unfortunate things. And that's probably why he didn't direct for a long time. But directing-wise, Body Parts, this film, I think he did a good job. Writing-wise, I think he also wrote Blue Steel. That has a really good ending, Blue Steel. He wrote the original Hitcher. I think that's a classic, one of my favorites. And Bad Moon, I thought he did a really good job. That's why it's number 3. Number 2 would have to be Stephen King's Silver Bullet. I know on Wikipedia it says that Don Coscarelli actually directed a lot of this, but then looking up some info, apparently someone who worked on the film said that that's not the case, that actually Daniel Attias did do the film. It's just Don Coscarelli was in the pre-production. Just look up some more info. Like I know Wikipedia is not always right. A lot of times, they tend to make up shit. But yeah, reading up on it, going deeper, other than Wikipedia, apparently that wasn't the case. Don Coscarelli did not direct. This is what I've read, so I could be absolutely wrong again. But from what I understand, Don Coscarelli was just on the pre-production, and unlike what Wikipedia says, that some people who actually worked on the film from pre-production to post-production said no, Daniel Attias actually did do all of the film. It's just Don Coscarelli was in pre-production, there was creative differences, he left, so they got Daniel Attias. And I don't think he directed much after this, which is too bad, because Silver Bullet, it has a good heart to it. I thought Corey Haim and Gary Busey were excellent in the film. The effects, I didn't mind the effects. Music by Jay Chataway, who did Maniac and Maniac Cop. He did a good job. Everett McGill is the Reverend. He was good. I know my friend Mike didn't like the narration. I was fine with the narration, especially the end, where I thought it was kind of sweet. Where at first you're not supposed to know who. I think at first you're not knowing who this woman's voice is. At least that's what I thought. It's like, who's this woman's voice? Who's narrating? Is it a townsfolk? Is it like someone telling the story, like the guy at the beginning of The Fog? But you find out, oh, it's Corey Haim's sister growing up. I guess maybe you could figure it out beforehand, but I didn't mind the narration. I think it's a lot better than like Blade Runner's narration. One of my only problems was they kind of. Aaron McGill, we find out early on that he's the werewolf, and I thought they kind of fucked that mystery up a little too early. I thought they could have, just a little thing. But Corey Haim, may rest in peace, definitely miss him. Gary Busey, I thought he did a really good job as Uncle Red. Some good werewolf action. I mean, the beginning, I think someone gets their head cut off right at the beginning of the film on like a railroad track or something. It's been a while since I've seen this. But no features, which is sad. It's widescreen, but there's no features. I always enjoyed Silver Bullet, but I'm a fan of Corey Haim. I do miss him. It's really too bad. But of course Paramount, they don't want to get features on it. But yeah, I enjoy Silver Bullet. And of course my favorite it's always going to be this film, Dog Soldiers. And this film does have features, has a commentary with the producers. And I love this film. I think this film, I remember hearing somewhere that Jason Statham was supposed to star in this film, and he did Ghosts of Mars instead. I like Ghosts of Mars, and I do like Kevin McKidd, who stars in this. But man, I just think if Jason Statham starred in this movie, holy shit. I understand why Jason Statham did it. It's to work with John Carpenter, but man, go back in time. If I was his agent, I'd be like, do Dog Soldiers instead. Trust me. And I like Ghosts of Mars, but I like Dog Soldiers more. I love it because it's werewolf film, but it's an action film. That's why. Kind of like Aliens is an action film. This is an action film. Only your villain is werewolves. And it's soldiers versus werewolves. It's well directed. The werewolves look fine. The effects work. The characters are likable, especially Kevin McKidd, Sean Pertwee. Has a good sense of humor, like the character Spoon, him fighting the werewolf. Some fun dialogue. Dog Soldiers, excellent werewolf film. A lot of fun, entertaining. Part of me wishes there was a sequel, but then I think it could be like the fucking Descent Part 2, which sucked, and a lot of other sequels that suck. So maybe it's a better thing that it was just a oneer. I don't want a fucking sequel that in 5 minutes they killed Kevin McKidd's character. I know there's talks of a sequel, but honestly I hope it never happens. Just look at Feast 2 and 3, those sucked. Fucking Descent 2, that sucked. So Dog Soldiers 2, for a reason that would suck. But well directed by Neil Marshall, I still think it's his best film. I like The Descent, but I like this film more. And it's my favorite. Action and horror put together, my two favorite genres, and that's why. So again, number 6, I do like the film, just not my favorite. Number 5, I'm sure that pissed people off, but I still liked it. I grew up with it. Number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. So either way, that's just sort of my trip down Werewolf Lane. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.